Well, hi everyone. This is Behind the Scenes series, episode 3, and I would like to introduce you with Jessie, a mental health provider, um, LHMC,
Hello,
and I
hello.
have again Dr. Leon with us. He's a retired podiatrist in the industry from the last 25 years, helping healthcare providers, and as a practice management consultant at the same time. Jesse, thank you so much for taking out your time again for this podcast. Love to have you
Thank
as a
you.
guest here.
Thank you for
And
having me.
how's it going so far?
Going so far, so good. Can't complain. I'm enjoying this weather. I'm about to go after this, go be out in my yard and do some yard work. So, once again, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Jesse, I would like to ask you some basic questions. Let's just start with the basic one. So, what
Good.
inspired you to become a mental health counselor?
Ah, well, in all honesty, I wanted to become oddly enough, like when I first entered mental health counseling, that was not the direction that I was trying to go. I was actually going to go towards nursing. Um, and when I
Hmm.
went to speak with I guess, an advisor, academic advisor, and they looked at everything that I did for my undergrad and just speaking with me, they were like, you know what, you should go into mental health counseling. And at first I was just like, no, dude, I came for nursing. Like, let's let's stay focused here. But after he was
Hmm.
talking to me and explaining all that goes into mental health counseling, it was just like instant,
Hmm.
that it's
Hmm.
almost as if I feel like it kind of chose me in a sense, because it's like this is something that I always
Hmm.
wanted to do. I always wanted to help people, and I thought that my way of doing that was through nursing, and I didn't realize that I could use like take a different route, and it be more meaningful, because actually became something that I'm glad that this advisor saw within me and suggested for me, so yeah, I keep thinking it kind of chose me in a sense, and I was grateful for the nudge to at least pursue it and find out, you know.
Indeed, indeed. I totally
Yeah.
understand that. And I feel you on that. It happens, it's just sometimes it's just about the destiny and
Right.
things are, you know, they go the way they have to. So, when did you decide to
Absolutely.
start your own private
I'm sorry,
practice and you would like
you
to
broke
work
up, you broke in and
independently?
out, so I didn't get the full question. I'm sorry.
No worries. I said, like, when did you decided to start your own practice or work independently?
Oh, yeah, I decided that in 2024. I've been working with like exemplary people in the group practice, just learning from them and seeing how they navigate their practice. And I always said that I eventually wanted to have my own private practice. I wanted to work for myself, make my own hours, and just pretty much branch on my own. But I wanted to take time um, to, I guess, learn first, be a part of the group, see how they did it, see how, look at like all the parameters, like the ups and downs of running and owning your own private practice, and just once again, just learning. And then in 2024, I said, you know what, I think I'm ready. You know, I didn't immediately jump into it. I think I started to feel like I was ready early in the year, and towards the end of the year, I decided to move forward. I was just like, let's do it. Like I said, I had the opportunity to work within groups and to gain insight and input through working with these groups, and it was awesome. Each experience that I've had working with groups have been for me. Um, and I felt like I was ready, to do this on my own, and to kind of like have my own way, like what I wanted to focus on, and what I want, like the population I wanted to serve.
I believe that's amazing, and that's something which is more relatable, I believe, with every other provider that we spoke to, and
Mm.
that's how it happens. Do you have any expectations when you're just starting up before entering into the real world of RCM, the insurances and everything?
Do I have any? Do I have any?
Expectations, yeah, before entering into the real world of, practice and the revenue cycle, the insurances,
Okay.
eligibilities.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna give you like the irrational expectation I had. I had the
Mhm.
expectation that it's gonna be so cool and so awesome and so easy. Like I'm just gonna, do credentialing, and it's going to be super duper easy, and I'm just gonna kill it because I have the drive. Like I literally thought like it was like rainbows and butterflies for me, and that's how I went in there. Like this is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. Insurance, no problem. It's gonna be easy. I'm gonna help people. Yes. And then the expectation that came like shortly after me being here, I was like, what the living hell is this? I wish I paid more attention to what I was seeing, like the group owners. I think is because I saw them
Mhm.
already established, so it didn't sink in
Mhm.
that there was going to be growing pains, and I
Indeed.
wish that was locked in first so that I didn't feel as blindsided or as deer in headlights as I did when I went live
Mhm.
with my practice. So yeah, I had like this like really like exuberant expectation, like it's gonna be awesome, it's gonna be great, it's gonna be easy. Even though I knew that there was gonna be dynamics where it wasn't gonna be so easy.
Mhm.
Um, but everything else was like far from my mind. Um, Now my expectation is just that I'm just going to continue to show up and continue to learn, and if something is not
Mhm.
working, I have the expectation now that I can change it. I have the I guess the full reign to do so, and not feel nervous about shifting if something is not working. So yeah, so yeah. My initial, and then from when I started, and now just my expectation is just pretty more. It's more leveled. Like
Mhm.
I'm just going to show up every day, and I expect that I'm going to do my best each and every day. And that's where I am at this point.
Lovely, lovely. You know,
Hmm.
uh, as much as it sounds very, again, very simple to the providers, just kicking starting everything. According to them, it's just that I need to get my LLC, and that's it. We're kickstart everything, and we're gonna see the patients, and take all the insurances out there. No problem with anybody. But again, when that's where we get the reality check. Now, do you have the panels? You
Oh,
have the insurances, and you got
the
time frame to get enrolled with
yes.
insurances,
The reality check gave
paperwork.
me a quick kick in the tuchus. Like it was, yeah, it, it was not what I was expecting. You remember Talal, when I
Mhm,
first met with
I
you,
do.
I was like,
I
I
did.
have no idea. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, especially the insurance component. Um, it was mind-boggling. Like, wow, this was a lot for me. And I guess part of the expectation to continue is that um, you think that it would be easy to do it because you have your intellect, you have the drive and stuff like that. That should be enough.
Mhm,
But you also have to have the language, the expertise, the coding, everything that comes with billing and
true.
insurance that I honestly did not have. And um by the time I met with you, like I was already like burnt out through my edges, like on that part of being a private practice owner. So yeah, if
No, I
anyone,
understand. I understand.
you know, it was a
Like
lot.
it's been like yeah, it was a lot. I believe I was like back in maybe 2024. That was the time, or 25, I believe, roughly, that we met, and things were
Mhm,
different at that time, and now things are pretty much different. And yeah, that happens because it's not just you. It's, I believe, it's every provider who's just kicking, starting his practice or her practice, and they get into
mhm,
the real world and they see that there's coding, there's ICDs, there's CPTs, there are eligibility checks that you need to verify, and that is something which you haven't read in a medical school, because that's where you got treated. You learn how to treat the patient. That's it. And
mhm,
again, then an RCM kicks in, the audits, compliance. Every state has different regulations, LCDs, NCDs, and all that stuff. And again, these are the things which I believe every provider is not familiar with, and it's not their fault at any place. It's just they're not prepared for it. So they, sometimes they might get lucky to connect with the right people, and
mhm.
sometimes it's, if you're not fortunate enough to get connect with the right people, then you know you get worse, right? So that's have you. What was the time when you faced the reality check in terms of your patient, and when you started seeing patients in your own practice? What was the biggest reality check after you started seeing your first patients? How was it that?
Um, and I guess like what I explained is it's different for me because I was already seeing clients and already had client client care experience
Mhm.
working under group, so when
Mhm.
I went private practice, it didn't feel like anything changed for me.
Mhm.
It was just
Mhm.
me just doing my thing. So I
Mhm.
didn't have the only expectations I believe I had is that you know um, that that I need to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. Making sure that I keep up with
Certainly.
with um, honing my knowledge of certain modalities and therapies and treatment plans and so on and so forth. But it it was a easy transition going towards private practice client care
Mhm.
because I was already doing it, so it wasn't that much of a big um,
Mhm.
um, words is failing me right now. It just wasn't such a big like hoopla or um, I don't know the words.
It's more like familiar to you, and
Yeah, it wasn't difficult. It was a smoother transition doing client care because I've always done it. I was already doing it. Um,
Mhm.
so the only expectation I gave myself is that okay, you got this. You're on your own now. Make sure that you um, keep up with what you know. Hone you know hold in that knowledge and experience in what you know, and not be afraid to ask for help, even though you're on your own, not afraid to tap shoulders and not afraid, like being more proactive. I think that was the expectation I gave myself. Now you have to be more proactive, where when you were in a group, it was already there for you, you know
Certainly.
mhm.
So, so when did you have your moment where you said, "I'm
Indeed.
100% committed. I'm going out on my own and do or die. This is my course and my future." When did that hit for you?
That's a good question. I think it hit mid 2023, because when when you're working in a group, you have to do a certain amount of hours, okay, in order for you to um, be locked into a certain pay rate or insurance like you had to have a certain amount of caseload, all right, and
Right.
when I started to realize that this is not working for me, because I realized I kept burning myself out too quickly. And at first I
Right.
thought maybe it was just the group. So, but I think it's like that everywhere, any group you go to, because you do have to see, you do have to have a certain amount of caseload when you're working within a
Mhm.
group. So it hit me right away that I don't want to do that. I don't want to constantly be like checked out and not be at my best for my clients because I'm tired, because I'm exhausted, and because I have to meet a certain quota. So I was just like, hell no, I'm not doing this anymore. So that's what kind of like jumpstart. Like I'm just gonna do this myself so that I can have. And I had young kids. They're not
Mhm.
Oh, true.
babies, but they're I had my young children. I didn't like not being present for them. I didn't like being so exhausted, so irritable, like
Exactly.
all those things that comes with burnout at home. Even if you practice to the best of your ability self-care, I found was hard. And the amount
Mhm.
of pressure I put on myself to
Mhm.
find the clients to get the quota to keep on task. It was just too much.
Right.
So
Because
shortly after that,
what
I
you're
was like,
doing is
I'm gonna do it myself.
basically what you're doing is you're providing the same level of care that you would be in solo practice, but you have to do a little bit more to compensate for the group because you're paying more money to the group to give the same services that you would in private practice, but you're now keeping that money that you're normally giving to the group. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
bravo for making that transition. But I know from personal experience, especially when you have young kids, pulling the trigger is probably one of the hardest decisions you'll ever have to make, is because you have people that depend on you to make that income, and they're staring at you going,
Yes.
really? Now's the time you want to do this?
I know, right?
So you have to, so
Yes.
really? We like having video games and Cheerios on the table. So why
Absolutely.
are you going off of private
Like
practice? I know. I had the
like
same
what madness.
I had the same thing when babies were born. It's like, oh my God, what the heck am I doing? I'm leaving
Yes.
this comfort of a group practice, but once you make that transition, it
Yeah.
does get, as you see, get better.
hmm
True.
Practice starts to pick up, but that couple of that first 6 months when you make that transition, you're going, oh, I hope I have enough diapers to do this one
Pretty
because I'm going to
much.
keep. Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty
So
much.
but that's why we're here to talk about stuff like this, is to tell people
Yo,
No, it's just
yeah.
I believe he's just getting out a bit since he's driving all the time. Sometimes.
sorry about that. But
No worries, doc.
hold on one second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, doc. Sure, doc. No worries. Meanwhile, Jesse, I want to ask you the question that I usually ask the other providers as well. What helped you the most to grow your practice so far? Is it the motivation with the patients, or is it just business strategy, or anything else that you had in your mind, or what makes you think that this is something which helped me a lot in terms of growing the practice?
Delegating.
Mhm.
Delegation. I,
True, indeed. So,
delegation. um,
I, delegation.
Delegation. Like I said, like I loved what I saw in my experience
Mm-hmm.
working with the group. However, sometimes if you're not really in the nitty gritty with the
Mm-hmm.
owner, and really getting like the full
Mm-hmm.
scope of what comes with owning
Hold on.
your practice,
Try that one more
you
time.
go in,
Mm-hmm.
honestly with rose-colored lens.
Mm-hmm.
And you go in maybe at times thinking that you have to do it all. And I learned
Mm-hmm.
very quickly that hell no, I will not have,
Mm-hmm.
I will not, and nor do I have the capacity to do it all, and nor do
To
I
do
want
that.
to. Absolutely not. I do that already in my, personal life. I do not want to do this in this. this venture, right? So delegation
Mhm.
um, definitely helps, and it make sense. Like they
Mhm.
do teach CPT coding. They do that for I guess for the programs and giving you, but they only scratch the surface of that. We're
Mhm.
not when we get our degree in mental health counseling or psychology or whatever.
Mhm.
They don't give you the full nitty gritty of of the CPT of the insurance
Mhm.
codes, and it's constantly changing. So why
True.
would you expect to know what you like your craft as a mental health counselor or a social worker or whatever mental health umbrella that you are in, and expect to know it all the back end things. You just can't. You don't have that capacity, nor should you want to, you know. So
Absolutely.
delegation, hands down for me. Oh my gosh. So let me just focus on not losing my mind when I'm sitting in front of the client who themselves are feeling like they're losing their minds, like two people losing their minds.
Indeed.
I don't know. I don't know how that's
It
gonna work.
doesn't make sense.
But yeah, delegation for sure. Making sure that if you don't are not well versed in something, being able to delegate that
Mhm.
to someone else who knows what they're doing more.
True. True.
Hmm.
Spot on that. Before
Hmm.
meeting Red Medics, what was your experience in terms of, your revenue cycle management? Was credentialing was hard, or was billing was easy? How the things were going? Who was taking care of that roughly? Like, how was it going so far? Is it a fairy tale, or is it just another nightmare?
It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I Oh my gosh. I wish I jumped right into delegation right away. Um, it was a nightmare. Like making phone call, like the phone calls, the talking to different getting all of your
Hmm.
documentation for credentialing and having to do this paperwork, that paperwork, and still do I guess promoting of your practice and getting the clients.
Hmm. Hmm.
Luckily for me, um, I don't want to toot my own horn. No matter where I go, my clients still want to come with me. So part of that, was beneficial because I came with a good client load. However, the credentialing and the assurance and all that was was a nightmare for me. And I did it like for like 6 months, 7 months before I said, I'm not doing this anymore, Chief. Like, like we're not doing this anymore. Uh, I'm like, no. Um, and like I said, I was starting to that burnt out that I was feeling,
Hmm.
was becoming more frequent. And
Hmm.
I refused. I refused. I was like, no, I can't do that. So so yeah, it was a nightmare. It was not a fan. What you said? It was it was not rainbows and butterflies. It was nobody was skipping through the fields, dancing. It was more like give me like where's a bottle and like give me a rock because this sucks. It was it was like literally like trying not to pull my every single one of my hair follicles out. It was not a good
And then
time. And I don't want to scare anybody going in, but I just want to say if you have the capacity or the headspace to do it, go for it, boo. I didn't, and it was. I'm. I'm. I think I still have like trauma from that period. Phone calls like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? Am I getting paid at all? I've seen them like for a month. It was
yeah.
a nightmare.
Have you got the 1 cent check yet?
Oh, I I I I don't even know where I put it, but when I got my first check before I guess before we do like I don't know what that's called, like when you complete the paperwork so that they can send it directly to your business account and stuff like that. I got
Electronic fund
Like
transfer,
electronic
EFTs.
whatever EFTs and stuff like that, or something like of that nature. I got my first check, $5. I
yep.
was like,
Mm-hmm.
I was I felt like I was hoodwinked. I was like, I was being punked. Like somebody's punking me right now. Like I'm on a very cruel, cruel series of punk right now. Like this has got to be a gag. But yeah, that was so. It wasn't 1 cent, but that $5 still to this day still rankles. Still make me want to
Of
spit.
course, of course,
First.
because you're staring at that, you're going. They're expecting me to have practice management skills, but on their end, they're sending me a $5 check. How does this show good practice management on their end?
Dollars. And I'm like, are the other groups I was in, are they getting $5 checks? Is this like, like how are you even paying people $5? Like it was
It's
yeah.
insulting.
It still is crazy insulting and nerve wracking. Because for a moment before once again
You're
the idea of delegation kicked in, I was like, oh my gosh, I just go open my doors. I'm gonna have to close them. I'm gonna have to close them. There's no way. I'm gonna get that
or
cereal or
worse,
those
if you go
things.
or worse, you go the other way. You go, oh my God, I'm seeing too many patients,
Ah, yes.
and there's some point.
Yes.
True, true. That's happened sometimes. And again, it just give you a little bit downsize of your thoughts and everything, and you just thinking that I spend years now, and that's what I'm getting of. That's not hard work is getting paid so far, and that's what we get the thought for.
Yeah. It was vexing. It was truly
Yeah.
vexing. And it like Leon was saying,
Hmm.
it kind of also may push you to take on more clients, because if I'm getting $5 checks, I may have to see
Hmm.
1,000 clients. I don't know how. Maybe just do
Money
it. You know, I'm gonna have to see 1,000 clients, so I could, I guess keep my roof
compensate that, or yeah.
on $5 checks. So yeah, it puts you in a headspace to now you start to think, I guess, towards compromising yourself,
True.
so that you can make ends meet. And once again, that was the reason why I decided to work on my own, because I no longer wanted to compromise myself in that way. And yeah, so anybody who even wants to do private practice, please, if you can, delegate. Delegate so that you can focus on what you wanted to do to begin with, which was to help your clients, see your clients, and be there, be present, be a without having to worry about the stuff that you honestly don't know. You don't know the
True.
dance of it, and there's this particular dance to insurance and credentialing that not you don't necessarily need to know it all. So
Indeed. Yeah, I totally say this to every client of mine that, their job is actually to utilize their skills, and it's our job to utilize ours and make a win-win for everybody, you know. So
hmm
that's how the partnership needs to be look like. The billing companies out there, they need to supposed to do their job like we started. How was your experience? Because I just asked you how was, you doing before you met us. How are you doing right now?
doing better. I mean, yeah, there's still some, ups and downs with credentialing.
Hmm.
Not
Hmm.
necessarily credentialing, thank goodness. But with insurance, but at least
Hmm.
my billers get the brunt of it. you
Yeah.
know. Um,
I mean,
so
living for another day to another fight.
I'm sorry, what?
I
I
said,
didn't hear
we're
you.
just living another day for the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, just another day for the $5. Um, um, it to me, it's like I said, it's 1,000% easier. You know,
Mm-hmm.
does it take away the downs that comes with insurance? No. Um, there's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be, you know, some dynamics that just doesn't, you know, fit, like I guess fit your goal, or
Mm-hmm.
fit your ideal of what you want your practice to look like. However,
Mm-hmm.
it does make it easier to have like the middleman there, so that you're not
Mm-hmm.
taking the full blunt of the
True.
stress
Yep.
unnecessarily. So having, once I said, having paramedics, having my billers there fighting or taking the brunt of it for me does take the edge off. But once
True.
again, it doesn't take all the responsibility, because you're still the owner. You still want to know.
True.
Um, you still want to be in the know as to, is my practice receiving the compensation, and that
Mm-hmm.
your sweat is putting out, like that you're putting out there.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's been easy,
Absolutely.
but obviously there's been some challenges still. Hmm.
Absolutely, because it's in the end, it's your bread and butter. You should supposed to see it every day, and
Hmm.
exactly, you should supposed to know what exactly is ongoing in the practice, right? So I think it's important to give every detail about everything which is going on under the practice to the provider or to the owner, so
Hmm.
they can actually see, even though it's improvement, even it's a downfall, even it's just a small challenges are coming up or whatsoever. You should supposed to be communicating with each other, and that's how the
Hmm.
business grows, right? If
Yeah.
you are in the communication.
Right.
Yeah.
um, in terms of the patient side, have you faced any challenges regarding, the patients with your own practice? Are they good with you? They ever experienced like more like, they said we like to go with cash base, or are you okay with going with insurances? What's your thoughts on that?
I would love it if more of my clients say, "Hey, I want to do private pay, like, or self pay." That would be that would be awesome. That would be awesome. In a beautiful world, absolutely.
Indeed.
Um, but this is not the world we live in, where, especially now, like, it's
True.
getting, it's harder and harder. So if someone has
Nobody would
insurance,
like to pay out of their
no
pocket.
one wants to. Hello, I don't. I wouldn't either. So, like, in a beautiful world, it would be great to do self pay and know that, what you charge is what you charge, and that you
Hmm.
it makes it easier to budget and plan
Hmm.
things accordingly, because what's coming in, based on who you're
True.
seeing and how often you're seeing it, and you can budget better, but
Hmm. Hmm.
the a lot of clients, for a lot of clients, unless you're opting to be a self-pay provider, uses
Hmm.
insurance. And if your goal is to help people, the majority of the people that you want to that's seeking help
Hmm.
has insurance. So
90% of them. Yep.
95 most likely.
Oh.
I don't like self-pay. Let's say like I have 40 clients, like self-pay will probably be two, and they're
Oh.
not as consistent as the
Yep.
insurance, because once again, they gotta eat,
Yeah, that happens because
you know,
they gotta eat too.
they gotta eat too, so yeah.
Now, uh, just to before we end this thing a little bit before than that, what does success in mental health practices means for you, at least today?
Oh, okay. Um, I
That's a
might
big
say, should
one.
I? Yeah, that's a big one. Should I give the politically correct response? No, like, how should I
Whatever
say?
you think.
Okay, you know what? In all honesty, what success for me looks like, that I'm able to show up. I'm able to
Mhm.
show up for my clients, and I'm able to
Mhm.
be compensated
Mhm.
regularly for what I put in. To and most importantly, not be burnt out. Not feel
Mhm.
burnt out. I think that's success in my book, where you're able to show up, enjoy showing up because I love what I do. I love what I do.
Mhm.
And once again, I'm so grateful that that advisor said, "Hey, you should do this," because if I probably wouldn't have not never considered this route, you know, and then
Mhm.
probably been in a different situation, probably miserable. But being
Mhm.
here, helping and showing up and to my clients and seeing the growth and seeing the changes
Mhm.
that you help do, that's amazing. And being compensated, whew, being able to eat, being
Cherry
able
on
to
the cake.
yes, being able to buy the liquid gold, like this is great. I call that gas. I call liquid gold, gas, liquid gold. Without struggle, that's success for me, you know.
Wonderful.
And
That's amazing.
yeah, 100%.
What advice do you think you would give the new mental health provider, especially who are just entering the field?
Okay. One, I would say, like, do your research. Don't
Mhm.
don't go in um thinking that it's going to be a breeze. Do your research.
Mhm.
Talk to as many individuals as you can, and really do not hesitate asking the hard questions. That's one.
Mhm.
Two, don't let your fear or your anxieties or any insecurities stop you from pursuing
Mhm.
that goal, if that goal is what you want to do. You know what I mean? If,
Mhm.
like, if this is what you want to take, don't let your insecurities or your fear talk you out of it. You feel it
Mhm.
for a reason. Pursue it.
Mhm.
um, and lastly, oh, know and remember that you do not have to know it all. Give yourself
Mhm.
space to continue learning, and not only give yourself space to continue learning, give yourself grace too. So
Mhm.
those are the things that I would advise and tell someone coming in to this wonderful world of mental health counseling.
Lovely, lovely.
Yes.
You know, that I believe, as many of the mental health providers and the rest of the providers who are just coming out of school, it will really help them to see
Hmm.
exactly how the real world works and see how the
Hmm.
providers are getting paid, what exactly your challenges look like, and everything. And
Hmm.
obviously, the piece of advice that you share with us, and that's based on the true experience with the
Mm.
insurances, with the business, and everything. So that I believe that will help these new providers a lot because
Yes.
they're not getting educated by all of this. They are not, getting consultation for this. They are not being trained
Yeah.
for this
They
stuff.
should.
We,
They should.
they should. They should.
Hmm.
That's the only reason that we're just trying to put a little bit of this to the world out there and see if we can make a little difference out there by letting these people and the rest of the providers know that this is how the exactly real private practices will be suffering from. This is the struggle, this is the benefit that you'll be getting out of it, and
Hmm.
you have to live with it. You have to go with it.
Yeah.
You cannot give up. You have to be strong.
Yeah.
And you have to do the right thing with the patients, obviously. And this is the part of
Absolutely.
it, at the business side of it. It's just a part of your practice that goes on, and you just need to have a right partner who can help you with it, who can guide
Hmm.
you about it step by step. The process regarding even credentialing or coding or the compliance of the state, the documentation, and all this stuff. So actually, to prepare you for I believe the RC involved, even though, and then obviously it's your job easy because you know how to treat the patient. That's something which you read in the past
Absolutely.
2 decades. I believe
Absolutely.
that
Hmm.
that's how people can even we cannot just make it a little bit more easier because it's getting drastically changed every year, every month or so, but just
Yeah.
try to make a little bit convenient for the people out there, the providers out there, because What I've seen so far in terms of the companies out there regarding billing partners and everything, they try to make it more complex for the providers who are just coming out of the school. You need to do this, you need to have this, you need to do your own coding, you need to do all that stuff. What exactly you're doing in terms of EHR and all that, it actually create another mess for them. Another nightmare for them. Now this is
Yeah, it
new
creates a
world out
colossal mountain, making it more daunting. Where it doesn't
there.
necessarily have to be. It doesn't
True.
necessarily have to be. Mhm.
Doesn't. I believe it should be more. We should help them, the providers out. We should be making it a little bit more easier for them to understand this, because
Mhm.
this is the part where their expertise doesn't lie pretty much, unless they have someone who can actually help them, guide them, and they have a lot of experience in it, and that requires
Mhm.
time. Where you read
Yeah.
in the school to just treat the patient, that requires time. Now you will have enough time to learn more about the insurance side of it as well, how that's supposed to work, and the
Yeah.
business side of it. Obviously, it's not just about the
Mhm.
insurance, it's about the business strategies, how you'll be marketing
Mhm.
yourself out there, how you
Absolutely.
representing your practice, the goodwill of the practice, and overall. So it's
Yeah, you
another
do
world
learn
out
a
there.
lot. You do learn a
Yep.
lot. Like, and I guess that's just part of it, right?
Mhm.
Like you learn as much as you can in the classroom, but the bulk of your experience and what you do take with you into private practice is the actual experience, is the failing and the getting
Mhm.
back up. It's the mistakes and it's the wins. It's all of those lived experience that that sharpens you, um,
True.
as a provider. So it's I agree with what you're saying. It's not just what you learn in the classroom, and you have worked your tail off to learn everything that you have in the classroom, but the lived, the thick of it experience is honestly where you grow and everything gets honed.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, we wish all to actually the new providers are getting right in right path with the nursing
Yes,
world.
don't give up. We need more. Come.
We need, we need a lot. I
We
myself need
need
a lot.
it.
You know, Now this is something it's just now it's kind of the part of the life. You meet the
Mhm.
providers every day, and they meet the patients every day, and we're just trying to make it easier for everybody, even for ourselves too, because healthcare itself is getting, it's very vast, it's changing every day, every month. There are new codes coming up, so at least we try to make sure that because we need a lot of other providers just like you who are just getting out of the schools, who are just enthusiastic, wanted to help those patients out there. I believe we just need to, at this kind of podcast will help them to be prepared so they can do their research,
Mhm.
and then obviously they can grow in a, I believe this is how they can grow more faster, because they know exactly what are the expected challenges that they will be facing down the road,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
your experience and obviously your advice will help them a lot. And again, thank you so much
I'm
for that,
hoping.
Jesse, for
I'm hoping so. Thank you so
taking your
much.
time out of your busy schedule.
Awesome. Thank you once
It's
again for asking me and thank you for allowing me to share what I know.
that's perfect. Because it will, I believe it will help a lot of the people out there. And thank you so much for again taking out your time, because I know meanwhile treating patients and be another weekday, and it's a lot to ask, but we do it.
Awesome. Awesome.
Well, we meet soon and talk soon. Again, thank you so much for joining in today.
Hmm.
Be happy to have more providers like you on this platform, and see what are their challenges was, how they would like to, what their vision looks like, and we can create a goodwill for others too.
Absolutely. I hope so. I hope so. That would be great. Thanks
Thanks,
again.
Jesse. Thank you.
All right. Take
Thank you
care,
for
guys.
joining in.
Thank you. Bye, Leon. Take care. Bye, Talo.
Bye bye. Bye bye.